It's time to go nuke some biters. Hey, what's up, Dan?
I was just checking to see how it looks with two people in the top left.
Oh,
That was going
yeah?
to be some wild stuff
There it
to
is.
have up
Look at
there.
him go. Wow.
Oh, it only shows who's talking. Oh, if we talk at the same time, we get two icons.
Yeah.
Wow, wow, wow. Amazing. Yeah. Okay. What's on the agenda for today?
I think just watch some videos. I'm trying to think if I should go to Austin at night or tomorrow morning, but I'm feeling tomorrow morning.
What for? Why would you go there?
For that thing.
Oh. Cool, cool.
Yeah.
Melina's cool with that?
I mean, she probably won't find out.
Well, and now she's going to. Okay.
You really think so?
Well, I guess we'll see.
Wait, what? Hold on, wait. Are you memeing or why wouldn't she be? Wait, I'm so confused right now.
Yeah, I was memeing.
Okay.
You're so that's how, like, I'm so smart that, like, what, did you think I can't be that smart to do that?
Well,
Why
I'm
why
just
would
making
she
sure
not
because
be
now
okay
I'm.
with that?
Well, I know, but now I'm just paranoid because I'm like, wait, did you think it was something different or I don't know? Jesus.
No, I didn't. I know what that is.
Okay.
And, okay. This anti-Jew shit is getting, I think, maybe a little bit scary. A little bit. Not, like, super, super scary yet, but, like, it's kind of like, maybe you could picture, let's say, Republicans win the House and the Senate, and then in 2 years they get the presidency. Like, you could picture, like...
If it makes you feel
know,
better
like,
for, like, older people and mainstream Republicans, like, Israel is still, like, #1. Like, there's no question about it. It's younger people and minorities that don't like Jewish people.
yeah. Well, I think it's like most super Christian people, don't they like Israel? Oh, I think they still hate
love Israel.
They
No,
love
no,
Israel,
no.
but
They
they
love
hate
Jewish
Jews, right?
people, and they love it.
Really?
Remember, one of the few things he did foreign policy-wise was moving the embassy to Jerusalem. Remember?
Jews. Yeah.
Yeah, they
What was
love
the
that.
logic behind that? Like, so as to indicate, like, the Jews have this...
Jerusalem
unanimous
is our
right?
shit. Get the fuck out of here,
Yeah.
you Palestinians. Sheikh Jarrah belongs to us.
Interesting.
But yeah, no, it is. It is definitely like a little bit creepy. Like,
It's like a little bit, I don't know, scary. You know what the really scary thing? It kind of sucks, but like, you find just like a random Reddit post being like, "Oh, Kanye just held up his phone with a list of like Jews
from
in India."
4chan.
Yeah, right. No, but like when you go read the comments, you're not on the 4chan Reddit, or you're just in like news or something, and like you see like upvoted threads is like, yeah, that's true. I don't know why we're lambasting the guy for telling something that's true, and it's like the shit he's holding up isn't even true either.
Oh,
Like, I saw that Avi something or other guy went over and like half of the shit he says, like, they're either not Jewish or they're not owners or that's not who owns the company. It's just like,
Yeah. It's like this
I don't
guy
know,
was
dude.
like the COO like 17 years ago of like a company that was acquired by them, and they're like, oh, that's the owner. Yeah, dumb shit like that. I think also the problem is that like I think that a lot of the rhetoric around a lot of like this stuff has just been so bad for so long that it becomes easy to kind of get lost in the sauce. So for instance, like if we say that like white supremacy is really bad because white people are majority power holders in society, and we can say fuck white people, fuck the Mayo side, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Well, you can take that same kind of ideology and turn it on Jewish people who are also like majority power holders and shit, and then you amplify that with like the Israel-Palestine stuff. It becomes pretty easy to get like a group of young people to like, yeah, actually, yeah, you know what? Fuck Jews, 100%. Actually, yeah, yes. And it's like, okay, well, that's probably not good. Yeah.
the again, that Avi guy on his thread, one thing he said that was interesting, and again, I'm not.
Are you talking
smart
about
enough to know.
Dr. Avi, the Jewish dude? No,
Yeah,
not
yeah,
Jewish
yeah.
dude, the vegan dude.
Oh
Oh no, is he? I gotta check.
With
Yeah.
the name of Avi, I'm highly saying yes on that. But anyways,
Okay.
in his thread that he did, he said the explanation for so many Jews in media is that even though Jews are 2% of the U.S. population, they're very concentrated only in certain areas, which are big cities. So like they're only in L.A., they're only in New York, and Miami, and Boston, like. That's where like all of them are for the most part. And then when you look into those cities and you say, okay, if Jews typically have this level of success. You should expect that they're going to be working in the industries that are local to them. Like no one complains when Irish people are police officers or Italians are working construction and dominating that industry. So it was like it's not disproportionate, right? Like so, I guess if you look in LA, what percent of
Well,
LA
it is
is
going to
Jewish?
be it will be disproportionate. That's
Well, it's based off of, I guess he said, the IQ of the average person living
sure, but
in
I'm saying
those
like that
cities.
thing that you just said is also like kind of true of like black people, right? In the United States, like black people are also concentrated highly in cities and whatnot, but they're not running the media or the banks, you know.
So if you look at the history of news and media, it's actually kind of interesting. Most of the founding people for the original studios, like MGM and stuff like that, were Jewish, but they came from trades that were very sort of, I guess you would say, peripheral to the entertainment industry. Highly involved in vaudeville, and the other big industry they were involved in was clothing and fashion, and that helped a lot of the salesmanship when you had to go around to each individual theater back in the day and sell your movies, as well as providing things like the costuming and, you know, also the construction work and the financing for these movies, because they already had those connections working in an industry that was already involved in entertainment and, you know, already having that vaudeville background.
Okay.
Right.
Well, there you go.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Yep.
What else is happening in Cat Town? So, I was just thinking about that, I guess, a little bit, and
Kind of sounds like you're trying to convince yourself, Dan.
convince myself of what specifically.
You're like a Jewish guy, like Googling, like, why the fuck are there so many of us in these industries? I've got to find a way to explain this. It doesn't make any sense.
No, well, yeah, I don't know.
You're
Well,
like
the only thing
your search history like ends up looking like basically a Nazi search history. You're like,
Yeah,
why
like,
Jewish people control big banks plus media plus Federal Reserve? Question mark. Why Israel so much influence over both political parties, USA? You're like, okay, there's got to be a reason.
Yeah.
Oh no, he's getting J Q'd.
It's just I don't. I keep standing by this. Like, maybe there is. Maybe just Jews are really good at fucking Hollywood shit. I would do that. But I will never, ever believe for a second that there's any fucking cabal among these motherfuckers, okay?
Yeah.
Well, if there is, I haven't been invited. I'll say
Uh-huh.
that. That's at least that I can go that far to say that, right? Like, if they are all conspiring with each other, like, hey, Moishe, you want to come over today? And how can we screw over the Christian guy working at level 614? I'm not being invited to those fucking things.
The reality is that like I say this a lot when I deal with personal matters, especially stuff related to drama. I say drama for a shortcut for like interpersonal like things. One thing you have to be really careful of is that if you convince yourself that there is a conspiracy, it becomes very, very, very easy to retrofit stuff to fit in a certain manner. So like whenever somebody thinks like, oh my god, like I think she like did this thing, and then people will start saying like, oh yeah, when I started that party, she was doing that, or when they were doing that, and eventually I'll tell somebody like takes it back, it's like, okay, hold on, you're like hardcore. Like chances are when she said hi at that party, it wasn't some weird underhanded way to like fuck with her. She was probably just saying hi. But it becomes so easy when you're like bought into a certain like conspiracy or idea that you're going to start to retroactively see everything, you know? Whereas on the flip side, there's a lot of easy stuff that just kind of like makes sense if you like back up and take another look at it. So for instance, for Jewish people, right? Like Jewish people all seem to be really invested in like the destruction of the white race through like immigration and progressivism, et cetera, et cetera. Like that's a take that you might believe, and then you can go through like Jewish people's voting habits, the organizations and charities they're a part of, et cetera, et cetera. And you can actually find a ton of data to support that. And it becomes easy to kind of think that like, okay, holy shit, maybe there is something to this like Jewish people trying to get rid of white people thing. Or you could just back up and you go, okay, well, Jewish people have a certain culture where they super value education. Jewish people are super overrepresented in a lot of higher education. A lot of people that are educated and wealthy tend to be like liberal/progressive. And then that actually explains like a ton of the voting habits as well. It's like, okay, well, that makes just as much sense as the other conspiracy theory, and I don't need any type of like conspiracy to explain that, you know?
Yeah. I mean, there is still, I would say for sure, Jewish people probably, I don't even think that they vote differently than people in the location where Jews are. So 30% of Jews voted for Trump. Okay,
Really?
But if you consider, 30%.
Jesus. Okay, I didn't know that.
In 2020, and if you consider that Jews probably almost, I don't know the percentage. I want to say like 90% of Jews probably live in major cities.
Mm-hmm.
You would expect that even to be not that case. You would expect it to be like 90%, and it's not the case. So I would say that Jews on a whole, I don't want to say are more conservative, but are certainly more, like, there was a reason that they were aligned with Trump, and I think that's probably a mix of fiscal issues, but also Trump's like kind of at least stated support for Israel and shit like that at that time. But yeah, 30% of Jews voted for Trump, even though probably, as I said, the vast majority of Jews lived in metropolitan areas where you would expect to be 90% Democrat or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Dan, voting Jews or 30% of all Jewish people in the U.S.? Oh, sorry, Shenzhen. I meant all Jews because I mind them to find out how they would vote in the election. So that's why I was including them there. So.
Well, it could have been polling data or survey data versus like actual.
Well, I said how they voted, 30%. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did you see? Oh fuck! I thought I was gonna have to deal with a bunch of dumb shit, but now I realize I have to deal with a bunch of even dumber shit.
Okay.
Did you see anything about like the lab leak theory stuff?
I saw the article, but I didn't read through it, and it was on Vanity Fair, right?
Yeah, apparently there's like a Senate statement or whatever that like conclusively says that like, okay, definitely lab leak.
I don't know. Like, here's the thing: I never really cared that much. Like, that is totally reasonable to expect it could have been a lab leak.
Yeah, it definitely could have been, but the weird stuff happens when it's like, well, what kind of research do we fund? Was it intentional? Like, that's the thing. If you guys see people quoting that article and you see like conservatives, like, I highly recommend reading that article. I actually cannot believe how much of a fucking nothing burger that article is. And after reading through it, I actually feel even more strong now that it almost for sure came from those wet markets. I didn't realize too, but there also been there was one other big study that like started comparing a whole bunch of like DNA samples from people that got sick or whatever, and it's like it is. I'll always say it's possible that it didn't come from the wet market, but there's like very, very, very high like certainty reasons to believe that it almost certainly did. But yeah, that article was such a nothing burger, and the headlines, the way that they stated it, was insane.
Did China benefit more than we did from the coronavirus? Meaning, like, if China could go back and somehow make the coronavirus not happen, would they have been better off or worse off? Right, because it did fuck the U.S. a lot, but I wonder if it fucked China
I feel like
more.
China got fucked really hard. Like, aren't they still doing insane lockdowns and shit over it?
Yeah, and why? I mean,
probably
I don't
because
know.
If I had to guess, it's like super ultra high population density.
Yeah.
Like, I think they're still doing like insane.
How is the current? What is the current variant we have? It's some like Omicron level 6 shit or whatever now?
I don't know, but I will tell fucking liberals need to stop being fucking cringe about it. Holy shit. Well, actually, wait, here's a question. I don't know the answer to this. If you had a cold, would you fly in an airplane, or do you think it's like, do you think you should be forced to not fly in an airplane?
If I had a cold, what type of cold?
Like
how shitty do I feel? So I'm pretty selfish.
I'm not asking about for your own personal comfort. I'm asking for the safety of the other passengers.
Oh no, yeah, that's. Wait, I was thinking like, oh, I don't want to get other people sick. That's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I was leading with like, I'm pretty selfish. I think it would have to be flu-like for me not to fly. If I felt like I just had a cold, like a cough and sniffles, that type of shit, I would still fly. But if I felt like I had a fever or something else, like, I mean, basically the line for me is like, do I feel that I could do that flight and not be like fucking miserable? And the answer is no.
Wait, so that has nothing to do with the other passengers. That has to do with how you feel. Which is fine. But I was asking like, because people are.
Those just line up together, right? Those line up. But let me give you another situation. Let's say like this is the only flight I'm in fucking Europe and I need to go back to the United States. I would 100% take that flight for sure.
Yeah. So like a year ago, I wouldn't have done that. I would probably like, okay, well, I think I have, like, I probably shouldn't travel. But like ever since like Omicron, it's like, does it really matter that much?
I don't know. Are people? God,
I was asking because like people were freaking the fuck out because some streamer was talking about how he took a flight back to the U.S. or in the U.S. or something.
Can I be honest? Yeah, it was the most cringe thing ever. Oh, God, I almost don't want to say that the TwitchCon was requiring masks.
Yes.
I don't even know the last time I've seen anyone require masks for anything.
Even in California, they don't anymore. So it was such a weird fucking requirement. It was such a virtue signal. Yikes.
And there was so many people that were clapping off of it as well. Like, oh yeah, thank God Twitch is requiring that. Like, bro,
Yeah.
come on, man. Just stay home if you're that worried about it. I don't know. I felt that
It's
was a
like
little
there's
bit.
dude, I hate how stupidly fucking political people's health has become. There are so many progressives now that are like, I got long COVID and I've been sick for 12 months. And there are so many conservatives who are like, I talked to my doctor and he said I absolutely can't take the vaccine for my own personal health. How are there so many fucking conservatives whose bodies are so fucking destroyed they can't take a fucking vaccine? And how are there so many fucking progressives that are all dying of long COVID? Like, it's so fucking stupid. What is happening with you people? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's all just like politics. But like this shit, I don't even know. You know what it is? Any issue now just has to be politicized.
Yeah,
There's
every
nothing,
single thing. There's
anything.
nothing. Yeah. Like, it'll be like, oh, like, should I... Yeah, I was going to say styrofoam cups as an example. But it'll be like, yeah, like, I want to buy some product. Like, well, what did the CEO tweet about? Like, is the My Pillows guy, like, an ardent Trump supporter? Is he going to be there at the next January 6th rally? Or, like... Oh, my God. Destiny
don't even
should
know
take.
if
I'm not
there's
scared, but I'm
anything.
pretty much always wearing a mask in large events. You have the freedom and right to wear a mask. That's fine. But like, I don't think we have like I think that during the coronavirus pandemic, I think that it was good to enact public safety measures to reduce the spread of a virus that had the most infectious virus in the history of the world. I think that's totally fine. But at some point, like, we kind of have to go back to normal. We're not going to be wearing masks and doing all this shit for fucking ever. It's so stupid.
Also, I think it was a different time then versus now. Like we
Of course.
were completely unprepared with respirators and
it was more deadly
PPE and everything.
And it
Yeah.
was, people keep trying to downplay, oh, the fatality rate, no, that, but it was literally the most infectious virus in the history of the entire planet, okay? So
And we weren't. And the big thing is we weren't prepared. Like that's why. That's
Mm-hmm.
what even made it more deadly. Is we just didn't have respirators and it required that. But now we do.
Yeah.
Well, I assume we do.
Well, and
Yeah,
there's the
it's-
current iterations aren't as deadly, so like, just chill. And nothing has changed, and now it's fine. That's not true. Things have changed. One, a lot more people are fucking vaccinated. Two, a lot more people have been infected. And three, the current iterations of the virus are a lot less deadly. So things have changed. What do you mean nothing has changed? Somebody in chat said it correctly. That is actually true. The number one symptom of the fucking bullshit is the brain rot that it caused. So really everybody involved. I want to know what the fuck is going on in all these weak conservative bodies that their doctors are like, oh no, we heavily advise against you getting the vaccine. Bullshit. I almost called that woman out, but I didn't want to fight because fighting over medical shit is always cringe because you can never prove it. But she's like, oh, I had a conversation with my doctor and they advised me not to get the vaccine. Bullshit. No fucking shot. It was with one of your holistic doctors. It's a fucking vaccine. You poke yourself, you feel a little shitty for one day and you're done. It's like every fucking vaccination bullshit that we've done in the history of all the fucking vaccines. You get a shot, it sucks for a little bit, and then you're better. Jesus Christ. This idea that it's like this unprecedented, like, 5G carrying, like, magnetizing your brain and rotting you from the inside out bullshit is so fucking cringe. Oh my God.
So for the last 6 months, deaths have been pretty stable at around 500 per day.
Nice. In the U.S.?
In the U.S., yeah. Or sorry, wait, no. Yeah. 500
Not just
a day.
vaccines, but 10 boosters, though. Guess what else has had a booster every single new fucking season, my friend? It's the flu. The flu has had boosters every single season. And guess what? Even more of a conspiracy, your flu shots don't even work after a year because the virus has mutated so much that they basically become irrelevant. So, wow. Flu vaccines have also been a conspiracy the whole time. It's just so
out of
irritating. I
control.
just can't. I'm just disappointed that anti-vaxxing became a thing again. That I wouldn't have been able to call that. Even as stupid as, like, I know that, like, Republicans are historically, like, fucking retards, and it's like, that's fine. That's like, I accept that. I love them. They're my people from Omaha. You guys just hate education and college, and whatever. It's cool. At least they can fight on social issues and whatnot. But I understand that, like, you're never gonna have a good take on anything science related because that's just not the domain of Republicans. But to unironically become anti-vax is so fucking cringe.
It was never like there was never. Well, I guess we never had a real vaccine push for anything.
No, because we've
Before that.
probably been overdue for, like, pandemic-related stuff.
You know what would have been the dream? I wonder. What about if Trump literally created the vaccine? Like he was a fucking
Researcher?
yeah, he was a researcher and he created the vaccine, and every Republican was like thanking him. I still think Republicans would be against taking it. Actually.
No, the other world that I wanted that we never will get to see was the world where Trump won re-election. because in that world, Republicans are talking about cutting edge, capitalistically ran medical firms that were able to beat the pandemic and do a cutting edge vaccine with state of the art technology, working with capitalist firms all over the world to create a vaccine to protect Americans and then to ship that out and protect the rest of the world. It justifies capitalism. It justifies U.S. hegemony. It justifies our trading with everybody and being a friend with everybody and how good America is for the. It literally is like, it is the number one like conservative like victory story of capitalism and American engineering ever. But because Trump lost, now it's like a Democrat thing and they'll fucking hate it. If Trump would have won 100%, that is how every single Republican would have played off that vaccine.
What do you think? So Elon owns Twitter. So what do we think is going to happen with? I assume Trump will get unbanned. I assume that there will be a fucking catastrophic dig-like moment where people, I assume, leave Twitter. I don't know. Dig. The reason that all went to shit is that the site kind of became less useful. I guess I'm just asking, like, what do you think is going to happen to Twitter? If you had to guess coming up here, like, give me the 6 month and the 3 month overview.
It's going to depend on how active Elon actually is and everything. If I had to guess, he's kind of sort of proven me wrong so far. I hope he continues to prove me wrong. But if I had to guess, they're just going to unban a couple of big celeb accounts. And then nothing much is really going to change. He's going to come in saying that, like, oh, like, we need to change our moderation all this way and that way and blah, blah, blah. But then he's going to realize that he's going to lose a fuck ton of money if he does that. And then, you know, they're going to slowly roll back those policies or something. Because, like, as soon as advertisers run away, that company's going to get fucked, right? Like, Twitter, I think, is already, or is still losing money, so.
Oh, man. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You see Elon posted today that he thought there's a... Why would he tweet this? What is he thinking?
Was it the gay lover for...
yeah. Bro, you're... Like, that's insane.
He's not very, like, politically savvy. He's not a very savvy person at all. I think he's a decent investor. I think a decent engineer, but, like, yeah, politics is not his strong suit. He's like Jordan Peterson. Like, he does one or two things well, and now he thinks he's an expert at everything.
Anything new happening in the subreddit?
No, I need to enforce better rules. You guys make way too many threads, and you're way too mean. I'm gonna start like perma-banning people. We're gonna go on another big purge soon.
I think there needs to be a complete ban on Lav and Mr. Girl and.
No, I just need people to make like it's got to be limited to like one thread per day, and people need to like not.
There's like 20. It's a lot, you know.
Yeah, I wonder if
it's a lot.
I wonder if Forethought's been removing some. Yeah, another Lav. Like, chill. Oh my god.
So there's 8 Lav threads and 5 Mr. Girl threads.
Yeah, like just like make one thread and like talk there, guys.
It's gonna be like the Wall Street Bets, like daily thoughts at the top. What are you trading today? 10:30:22. Instead, it's gonna be like Mr. Girl. What's happening today?
Based. Do you think this graph would be more meaningful if there was like a I think somebody recommended using like a derivative instead of just charting your actual time? Because this graph feels really worthless. Or I can explain to you why. Like I think it's not a good graph. Sorry, what's up?
I think something that would look better, which would be kind of like a both lines, like they're either talking or not talking, and then you could see the gaps and then like make your own inference, I guess, from that. Maybe.
Well, here's the issue with using this type of graph, okay? Instead of using, maybe instead of using like a derivative or something. Hold on. The problem is that
well, what are we trying to convey? Obviously, we're trying.
What you're trying to convey is the difference in speaking time. Who's speaking a lot more, right? But
here's
the issue, okay? Let's say that we do a debate, and let's say in the beginning of a debate, somebody speaks quite a bit more than the other person, and then after that, the speaking time is identical, right?
Yeah, so it should be like on and off, and you have 2 lines instead of like
if I show a graph like this, well, in here it kind of looks like, oh my god, the guy on top has spoken so much more, but that's not true. He spoke a lot in the beginning, but that's it. But then, so like, let's say somebody does this, they do this, and then it's like this, okay? And then let's say that the other person is like this. For here, it kind of looks like, oh my God, it seems like they spoke for about the same amount of time. The other guy caught up at the end. But what's really happening is this guy spoke a lot in the beginning, and then for the entire rest of the debate, this guy was speaking way more. That's how he was able to catch up. That's why I feel like looking at like a rate of change or something might be better than just looking at the total talk time, because I don't know if it conveys the same. Or maybe yeah, I don't know. Just at a glance, it's a bit deceiving, I guess. Yeah.
No, it is. I think over time, what you want to see is like how often both people are talking.
Yeah, kind of. Or I don't know if it would be good for that. I don't know if it would, but yeah.